Gentlemen, Antonio here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 ways to make $1,000 in the next week. And I know that may be a little bit off topic of normally my style stuff, but I put out a video about a week ago talking about my net worth. You guys asked a lot of questions. I had a lot of people send me emails. So I wanted to put this video out there because I felt it would actually be useful. Because if you want to up your style, the biggest barrier I hear again and again is, Antonio, I don't have the money to buy a new suit. But I know that money is something, and it is not the most important thing in the world. But I will tell you that having extra money, having an extra $1,000 can maybe help you take that vacation, can help you quickly build that wardrobe, can help you pay off your student loan debt. I don't know where you would use this money, but I do know that whenever you help somebody understand that they can go out there and earn this type of money on the side, or maybe, be so successful that they can start a business and scale this to $10,000 a month, all of a sudden they're like, wow, there is so much there's so much opportunity. So that's the goal of this video, is to expand your mind. I'm going to divide this video into 3 parts. First off, I'm going to talk about mindset. Second, I'm going to give you those 5 tips. And at the very end of this, I'm going to actually make an offer. I need an accountability coach, someone to help me do what I already know I need to do and just hold me accountable. Some of my friends are going to laugh when they see this, but I've been looking for this accountability coach for 2 years. So I'm just going to throw out here in this video, I'm willing to pay $1,000 up front. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'll describe this job description at the end if this is what you're looking for and you feel you're qualified. But let me take a step back and let's start off first off with mindset. Gentlemen, this is so important because if you don't believe you are worth earning this type of money, you're never going to, with confidence, be able to ask for it. You're never going to be able to go out there and get it. And that is key, is you've got to believe that there's nothing wrong with earning money and that you are actually worth maybe $1,000 a week, maybe $1,000 a day. And that may sound crazy to some of you guys, but if you don't believe you're worth that, then you're never going to, and I'm not going to say that right now I would pay somebody $1,000 a day, but there are companies that pay people $1,000 to come in and fix a problem, which takes only a few minutes because they're so specialized, they have so much knowledge, and they are such an expert at what they do. But get over that mindset, believe, and start to build up your skill set and really know that you are a valuable person. So that's the first thing. The second thing is motivation. You have to have a why. You have to have something that is driving you. For me, it's about putting my family in a position so that we're able to travel the world, so that we have a home that we are proud of and that we feel secure when we come back to. Those 2 things, being able to have that freedom, be able to spend time with my kids, be able to all of this stuff, that is what gets me up. And that, because it is a hard journey. Guys, if you're watching this video and you think I'm going to teach you how to do this stuff, really easy ways to make money online, wrong video. It is hard work, and you're going to have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes to go catch a flight because you're going to have to go do some work on the other side of the country. You're going to have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to maybe shoot videos like I did before I started my other job in order to be able to get this out there and test the idea. Gentlemen, if you don't have motivation, if you don't have a why that's driving you, like your family, maybe it's helping your wife, achieve her dreams and be able to spend more time with her. I don't know what your why is, but have that and it will help you. It will keep you going when times are tough. Next up, let's talk about time. You have got to free up time. Now, we've all got the same 168 hours a week. You've got to find a way to carve out 5 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours a week to be able to work on this project. The way that you're going to do that is you're going to start saying no. You're going to say no to perhaps entertainment, television. You're going to say no to things that are just sucking away your time. Like, do you really need to mow the lawn twice, 3 times a week? Or can you let maybe those small repairs on the house go a little bit longer without being done and focus in on your business? You're going to have to say no to people that are vampires and want to suck away your time. You know who I'm talking about. You've got that person that just comes over. They don't value your time. They're a negative influence. You're going to have to start putting up barriers and find that 5 to 10 to 20 hours a week that it's going to take to be able to build up your business. The next mindset point is the path to $1,000. And I've talked about building up your business. So there are many ways to $1,000. My first job was getting $4 an hour when I was digging ditches in West Texas. At that rate, I've got to work 250 hours to earn $1,000. I can tell you, even if you've got a great job and you're getting paid maybe, $20 an hour, $50 an hour. If you're getting paid $50 an hour, which is great, and all of a sudden you're gonna have to work 20 hours in a week to be able to make that extra $1,000. But what if you could go beyond that? What if you could get paid on average $100 an hour? Or you could get a single project, which only takes you a few hours, and you get paid $1,000 for it. So that's the mindset, is I want you to think there are many paths to that $1,000 and try to think of how can I get to it in as few steps as possible. So if you have an IT background, perhaps you can do consulting for small businesses and you charge, yes, a minimum of $500. Guess what? You only need 2 sales that week and all of a sudden you've made $1,000. Guys, that is the biggest thing, is to get over the hump of thinking, I'm gonna have to make it $10 at a time, and open your mind to the entrepreneur's path. The final mindset point is understand that you need to be solving a burning problem for someone who is willing to pay money. I can't stress this enough. So many businesses fail because they don't do this. You want to think of jobs and type of opportunities and contracts and be able to find work that solves a burning problem. One of my favorite examples is a guy that comes in and does emergency septic work, because I've had to have this done at my house, and I will pay triple, 3 times what their normal rate is, simply to have them come at 2 o'clock in the morning. And because I've got crap backing up into my house, you better believe that this is a major problem. I don't care what you charge, come here and fix it. That versus, I have so many people reach out to me and they're like, Antonio, I want to be an image consultant. Well, that's a nice career path, but does it solve a burning problem? Most image consultants do not, they don't explain how they're solving a burning problem. They're basically saying, I'm going to help you dress better. Well, is that really a burning need for many people? They need to, maybe for interviews, it would be more, and that's more specific. If you're an image consultant that specializes in helping a guy dress great for an interview so he gets the job, I would say that's a better business model than someone who's just a generalist. Again, solve a burning problem. The second part, target someone who has money to spend and has a history of spending money. Business owners, we spend money. I've got a payroll and I've also got money that I spend on various products. Every single month, I've got money going out the door, money coming in the door. Versus, let's say, a student. Nothing wrong with students, but let's just say that students have very tight budgets. They're going to be much, especially it's a personal expense. My business expenses as a business owner are tax deductible. For a lot of students, it's not tax deductible. That's coming out of their personal and very limited funds. So they're going to be much less likely to open up their wallet. So think about who you're solving that problem for and their willingness to pay. All right, guys, we are through with mindset. Let's get into the 5 tips on how you can go out there and make $1,000 in the next week. You ready? Let's get started. Tip number 1 to making $1,000 in the next week, gentlemen, is to go out there and find the opportunity. Don't just think that you can post on social media, hey, I'm looking for a job. Can anyone send me leads? Or to go out there and send out some resumes, which is actually a little bit better. But the best I've seen are people that go out there and spot problems and offer to solve them. You've got to possibly go out there walking around. Yes, go out there and go from place to place. You maybe have to go to events and talk with people that are business owners or people that actually are, that work in companies, and you've got to network. Let me give you a perfect example of someone. I had a guy show up to my door the other day and he simply said, hey, I'm new to the area. I've just moved into this town. We're talking a town of 1,000 people. And so he's saying, hey, I see that your backyard needs some work. Would you want to hire me for it? And I'm like, great initiative here. Because yes, for 2 years, I have needed to get a garden tore down, and we just stopped gardening and it was an eyesore. My wife has been asking me for 2 years, and I didn't want to spend the probably 10 hours it would take me to tear all that stuff down, load it into the back of my truck, and then pull out all the weeds. He worked for 2 days, made $200. And if you think about that, he only had that opportunity simply because he showed up. He wasn't the best. He was the guy that was there when I needed him to be there. And that's what you're going to find. A lot of you guys, again, getting back to mindset, you think, well, I'm not the best in the world. You don't have to be. You simply need to be there ready to solve. And if you're the best right there at that moment, you will probably get the job. Another thing, if you're doing work for someone already, ask them, or point out, hey, I could fix this. My handyman, Steve, this guy comes over to our house. He does all this work on our stairs. And then he looks at one of the doors and he's like, your door handle's all messed up. I can fix this. He looks at another small staircase and he's like, you've got issues here. I can fix this. Next thing I know, the guy is rebuilding my porch. He's going to be rebuilding my roof, all because he came over to work on our staircase. So always be thinking, take the initiative, look for things and problems that you can solve. Guys, an opportunity, jobs, and work and money is going to fall right in your lap. Tip number 2, if the local market sucks, go online. I know many of you guys are saying, Antonio, I live in a small town, there's no opportunity. Antonio, I live in a country in which people do not pay $10 an hour. There's just no way I'm ever going to get that. Well, look online. Things like Craigslist, eBay, Odesk, Elance. There are tons of opportunities out there. Now, you may be saying, Antonio, I don't have a skill set. That's a bunch of BS. Everybody has a particular skill that they can offer the world. Maybe you're 19, you just got into the University of Florida, and you're like, say, Antonio, what skill set do I have? Well, let's think. You got into a good school and you scored really high on your SATs. Well, couldn't you do some online SAT tutoring? And that stuff pays really well, and you reach out through your Facebook network, you put it out there through all of your friends and family. Next thing you know, you've got 3 people who you are tutoring to help them raise their SAT scores, and you are making more per hour than you could ever make locally there in Gainesville. So, I mean, things like that, there is just opportunity. Now, if you're struggling with ideas, I want you to go over here, grab this 30 ideas, 30 online business ideas. Ramit Sethi puts this out. Guys, great stuff. His courses are friggin' awesome. But right here, 30 ideas that, because I know that sometimes it's hard to think about this stuff, but don't feel that you have to come up with something entirely new. If there is already a market, there are already people doing this, that tells you that there's a market for it. So don't look at it as bad competition. You're always going to bring something unique to the table just because you're different than anyone else. And it's something that, again, getting back to the first point, it's not always about you being the best. It's simply you being there and putting it out there. Tip number 3, get paid upfront. So when I was getting my MBA at the University of Texas, I studied Dell computers, and I was amazed to see in the 1990s and early 2000s, the way that they were able to be such a powerful company is they got paid upfront. You would go online, you would pay for the computer. Then Dell would actually build out the computer. But the key is that Dell computers had the money up front. And this was genius for them and actually enabled them to really separate themselves from a lot of other companies that were not following that business model. Now, you can apply this. Now, I'm going to use this. I've got a 15-year-old who mows my lawn. I pay him upfront at the beginning of the summer. And then Michael shows up every week and mows my lawn. Why I love this? Because I get a discount and it's convenient. Why Michael loves this is simply he can schedule out the summer and he knows that he's got the money in the bank at the beginning. The key with this is that you've got to have trust built up between both the customer and the person providing the service that they are going to provide the service. But I find that many people, especially if you've got a history or if you've got a strong relationship, they're going to have no issue paying you up front, and it just saves them time, saves them money, and it's a win-win situation. Tip number 4, leverage arbitrage. So arbitrage is where you see a hole in the market, what something is worth and what you can get it for, and there's a big gap there, and you're able to make money on the difference. And I know many of you guys are saying, because maybe you don't have a great skill set, maybe you haven't built up a lot of experience. This is a very easy way. You can go into thrift stores. You can find a pair of shoes that are going for $5 that you could sell for $50 online. Perhaps you find some vintage Levi's and they're going for $2 at a garage sale, and you're able to sell those for $25 to $40 online. There is a separation there, so you can use the online marketplace of eBay or Craigslist or something like that and be able to sell that for more. I actually, with my first business, a tailored suit, I leveraged arbitrage. I had a tailor I worked with over in Bangkok who just didn't have any real foreign clients, but he was amazing. He had trained over in France. He was just an amazing tailor. And I basically took him on as a business partner, and I was able to mark up the suits, able to sell them at a much higher price. Now, long term, that business model didn't work out for me, but it was an amazing experience, and it's something that you can go out there and leverage. Tip number 5, niche down and be able to therefore increase your prices. Let me give you an example. If you approached me and you said, Antonio, I can transcribe your videos, your podcasts, what I'm willing to pay is relatively low. But if you approach me and you say, Antonio, I can rewrite all of your emails. I am great at copywriting. I will pay you and I have paid 100 times more what I would pay someone just for transcriptions for copywriting text on sales pages, because that is much more specific. It's much more, I think it's harder, and it requires a specific skill set. Yet many writers never think to actually specialize. There are so many areas where, let's say cleaners, if you wanted to show up, say, hey, I'll clean your house, people are willing to pay maybe $60, maybe $100 for a day's worth of work to clean their house. But if you come in and you say, I am a home organizer, I help you create systems and set up your house so that you will only need me to come in once a year, but I'm not a cleaner. My thing is to help, it's a very different mindset. It almost sounds like the same thing, but a home organizer can charge $200 to $400 a day. But that's something that, it's a small difference, but that small difference allows you to charge 2, 3, 5, 100 times more than if you were just general. The point there is when you specialize, yes, the market that you can sell to is going to be smaller, but the work that you do is considered more valuable, therefore you can charge more. All right, guys, that's it. Those are my 5 tips. If you want more, go check out this webinar. Ramit Sethi is running this webinar here in a couple days. And in this webinar, he's going to show you how to scale your business, how to go from $1,000 to $10,000, how to go from zero to that $1,000 and beyond. So if you've got a business and you're already making $10,000 a month, he even goes into how to take that from $10,000 to $100,000 a month, which again, may sound crazy, but we all start with our first sale. And guys, if you want to see the behind the scenes of Zero to Launch, I've got an unlisted video for you here as well. You can click on that and go check it out. And guys, remember, if you grab any of his courses, I'm an affiliate, so I do get a commission, and it is something that because of that, I'm able to give you free access to my personal image blueprint. So if you're looking to become a better entrepreneur and improve your style, it's a win-win situation. Now, finally, I want to end this with an opportunity for somebody out there. I need an accountability coach. I've got about 100 days before I leave the United States. And no, it's not because of the election. We simply want to live abroad in Ukraine. We're going to also travel, go to Croatia, probably Morocco. We're going to look at just other Thailand. Me and my family, we want to live abroad. But to do that, I have certain things I have to do in my business. I need someone to hold me accountable. I work on YouTube, I work on Facebook, and I can tell you, I get distracted by those shiny objects all the time. I need someone who I can tell what I need to do and them simply hold me accountable. And it's probably going to be with phone calls. It's going to be, and we can do that via Skype. It's going to possibly be definitely with a daily email for 100 days. And I'm willing to pay $1,000, pretty much up front, to make this happen. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I just talked about, how to make $1,000 in a week. So if you have the skill set, if you think that you can present me with a plan of how you're going to help me do this and why I should pay you $1,000, email me. I've got a contact form. I'm going to put it right here. You can go contact me at Real Men Real Style. Just put it, at the very top. Hey, Antonio, this is about your accountability coach position, and reach out to me. I probably, even if this video is a year old, you probably want to reach out to me again, because I'll probably still be looking for a new one. This is something that why am I willing to pay this kind of money for something? Because if this accountability coach can help me make an extra $10,000 in my business by doing what I need to do in the next 3 weeks, in the next 3 months, then it's going to more than pay for itself. And that's the way I look at that as a business owner. So getting back to all the points I just talked about, gentlemen, hopefully you enjoyed this video. It was a bit longer than many of my other videos, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail. If you want to learn more, check out the description of this video. I'm going to link to everything I talked about. I'm also going to link to an article which links to many of the other things I talked about, and I'm going to go into more detail in that article. Guys, take care. I'll see you in the next video.